So I just remember you at the time, and I think you still are, like, you became this overnight, like, heartthrob, but like almost like the dark anti-heartthrob. And was it was it weird for you? You brought up Riverdale, like stepping into a show of like all of these heartthrobs, but like I feel like every frame of you in Riverdale was like thirst trap. I feel like, and like, not to be disrespectful, like, I mean that completely respectful, like, good for you. But like, how did you finally get lured away from Los Angeles to do that show?
I mean, I had done pilots out of town, but pilots always tend to be during spring break. And so my kids wind up, coming with me I had a thing where I would shoot a pilot somewhere, but at that time I had the ability to move shows to LA if I wanted to do them. And so, I had moments of being away. I find it hard to work from home. It's so much easier to focus on a place where you don't have the multitude of distractions that home is. And so, I was pining to go on the road again, yet I couldn't really. And so that show was, it was really brought up as me being a guest star for the first season, and maybe it would be 3 episodes or something. They weren't really sure. So it seemed like an easy trip. And I wasn't number one on the call sheet, so I knew it wasn't going to be 90-hour weeks and stuff like that. So, I talked to my kids about it and ultimately decided it was, that I'd seen the pilot because they had already made the pilot, the first episode, and loved it. I thought it was really,
so cool,
really powerful and interesting and human. And so I was into it, and, I wound up doing, I think, 8 of the first 13 episodes, and I was doing 4 flights a week, 2 up and 2 back. And if I had more than a day off, I came home. So, it was a lot of flying. In a 22 episode season, I'd do about 160 flights. God. And it was draining, but I was home as much as I could be. It got to the point by the 3rd season, my kids were like, "Dad, we're 18, we're fine." Like, they just wanted me to get some rest. So,
yeah.
But I love that show. I think the real draw for me of that show, at least in the early seasons, was, and I saw it a bit through my own kids, that teenagers, certainly 14, 15, 16, and maybe earlier now, but that was my experience, 10 years ago or whatever it was, and was that they're starting to see the flaws in their parents, starting to understand that parents have flaws, and that they see, oh, this parent has a drinking problem, or that parent has that problem, or this or that. And there's no real discourse about it, and I thought the show really offered up in a very subtle way for kids to recognize their parents and these flawed people, other than Luke Perry. Luke Perry is never flawed.
Luke's was never flawed.
He was the greatest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it had real value, and I think that's what became the fandom of it, and I stepped into it not thinking anyone would even notice I was a part of it. And for whatever reason, that dynamic really worked. I had heard that the Serpents, this biker gang I was the leader of, they didn't even really want it in the show, but the fandom got so ravenous about the Serpents that it became, a huge part of the show.
Yeah.
But I really expected, Cole is a handsome, charismatic, incredibly bright, smart human being. And so that was a real win for me to get close to him. And we've kept up a friendship ever since. He's really a terrific human being. And, but I really expected to sort of fall in the shadows of these guys and not really, that it was the CW and it's about youth and that this was just sort of B story and C story all the time. But it really wound up being more than that. And yeah, I mean, that character, for whatever reason, resonated with people. And I think it is that flawed human being, the guy who was drunk and didn't want to raise his son and turns completely around to become a very caring father and a sober individual. It was quite an arc.
This episode is brought to you by Storyworth. As I get older, the thing that I find most important to me with my parents, not just spending time with them, but actually I have this desire to capture family stories for not only my kids and myself, but for future generations. It's why I recommend Storyworth, especially this time of year. If you're looking for something really unique to give, this is the gift for you. Each week, Storyworth emails a loved one a memory-provoking question that you choose, like what was your favorite toy as a child, or what are you most proud of? They can either write the story or they can record it over the phone for Storyworth to transcribe, which is easier for people as they're getting a little older and they might not be as tech savvy. After a year, Storyworth compiles your loved one's stories and photos. The photos are printed in vibrant color, and it's a treasure for your loved one and for you to revisit for generations. This year, they've added a bunch of new features to make storytelling even easier with personalized questions and Magic Editor. They have a new design for their books, and they've just rolled out Spanish language support. What's not changing about this is the customer's love for Storyworth. They've printed millions of books, preserved 35 million family stories since they were founded 13 years ago, and they've got so many 5-star reviews, 48,000 5-star reviews on Trustpilot. Give your loved ones a unique keepsake you'll all cherish for years. Storyworth Memories. Right now, save $10 or more during their holiday sale when you go to storyworth.com/Sackhoff. That's storyworth.com/Sackhoff to save $10 or more on your order. I am personally getting this for my parents this year, and I'm going to call my cousin right now because we've been talking about this for her mom as well. So enjoy the holidays and preserve those memories with Storyworth.